Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. When I first met Guruji in 2009, January of 2009, I used to get the distinct feeling that I'm around the love of Jesus. You just always feel that he's got this knowledge of the greatest sages like Dattatreya. But to be around him, I just felt like what the disciples of Jesus would feel like. To be enveloped in his love, to be enveloped in his grace. It was the most beautiful feeling that I had, and I know that Garima will also agree with me. She felt the same. And we'd met many masters earlier, but this love was unique. This feeling of just being adopted by him, the feeling that everything is taken care of. It's really, really beautiful. And we must all today express our gratitude to this beautiful, beautiful master who's not only shown us the love of Jesus, but also brought us to this Christ consciousness, your own being, your own presence, this truth. So when we hear somewhere that God says, I am that I am, it is not just a bundle of concepts. It is not something esoteric that we can't figure out. We have found this God presence in our own heart. So all our gratitude to Guruji and to Jesus Christ and to all the sages that have shown us this in such a beautiful way. It's the same Sadguru which resides in your heart, which is your own presence, the light of this universe. What if they all pointed to? This I am. Not the I am something. The rest of the world is pointing to I am something. What makes a sage a sage? The sage is pointing to the I am. And where can you find this I am? God said, I am that I am. He's talking about you. I am. Who doesn't say I am? All of us do. But usually we say, I am happy, I am bored, I am dissatisfied, I am excited. But before we add something to this, or I am Ananta, I am Girija, I am this body. I am thinking I want to go to New York. But what is the big risk? What is at the center of all of this? It is you. This body has changed. You might feel like you had one body since you were born, but you've had many. Not one cell in this body is the same as that baby who was born. But you have remained. Not one thought has stayed with you. All have come and gone, millions of them. Emotions also coming and going all the time. Nothing has stayed constant. But what about this I am? Who is that? Does it have a name? Does it have a birth? Who are you? Are you ready to meet God? Or are you happy to just be a limited person? Are you happy to just be something? Are you looking to become that which is beyond all things? Not even become is the right word actually. It is to see that you are beyond all things. Are you ready for the truth? Do you want to continue to play with identity, with that which comes and goes, with the notion of yourself, including the very humble sounding notion that I am looking for the truth or searching for it, which itself can become an avoidance of it. Many, I feel like they come to Satsang, you see, but are unwilling to give up the seeker identity because they feel like, then what am I? At least this I can hold on to. What I'm finding about myself is too broad, is too big for me to handle. So let me be the little old spiritual seeker. When all your insight is telling you otherwise. This is probably the second last satsang of this year. And I feel like looking back, I feel like a lot of this year has gone in showing you that you don't have a boundary, that you don't have a limitation. And many of you have checked this and seen that all limitations have either been an idea that you had or have been some sensation which you are feeling that it defines you. Your limitlessness is here right now. You don't need to take a magic pill which will make you limitless. It is what you are. This is your own discovery, your own insight. You are discovering that you are the ocean itself. But the play some of you are playing is that you're trying to fill this ocean into a coconut. You see? You're trying to get your mind to approve this. It's trying to get the mind certificate saying, yes, yes, you are the ocean. But the mind is that limited instrument which is designed to convince you about your limitation, about your individuality. You see? You're seeing that you are the ocean, but you're believing what the mind is saying that you're still a coconut. Cannot gather your magnitude into this limited object. You want to own freedom personally. You cannot do that. The body will not become free. It is not this body which is finding freedom. You are. Then the body is seen like all the waves are seen. A part of you, on the surface of you. big part of last year is also gone in dealing with all the the doubt. But yes, I see this but. Yes, I know this but I saw it last week also, but it is gone now. You see all this, all the doubts. And over, I've invited you back to right now. To see what you truly are. To experience the truth about yourself. Not what it means to the future you, not what happened to you yesterday, not any idea that you have about yourself. But in reality, what you are. We've spent many months studying the beautiful Ashtavakra Gita. And with such beautiful, every verse is a beautiful clue to this insight about the self. Each one of them, any one of them, can blow away any idea of identification that you might have. We have been blessed with the presence of Satsang and the words of Satsang. I've said often that most of Satsang is not in the words. It's in the presence of Satsang itself that a lot of the identification getting cleaned up is happening. But this does not mean that the words are not important. The words are beautiful pointers that you are using for your own contemplation. And this is the best use of the words of Satsang. The best use of the words of Satsang is not that you believe them. That might be the worst use actually. If you're creating another new belief system based on the words of Satsang, then that is not the intent. The best use of the words of Satsang is after you hear them to check them for yourself. So if the master says that you are the one solitary witness of all there is, see the beautiful words of Ashtavakra, the one solitary witness of all there is, as you are, what prevents us from checking on this right now? Just some doubt can come, some resistance can come. But you are valuing the truth more than doubt. You are checking. The sage, the great sage has said this. Could he be lying? It must be the truth. Let me find out that which witnesses all things. And where do you come to? You come to your own self. The pointer is very clear. Your insight is very clear, but many times you will buy into this doubt from the mind which says, but I didn't see anything at all. I didn't find the self. And we spent a lot of time on explaining that you will not find the self as an object. You will not find something which has some quality, some attribute. That's why I've given all of you this beautiful pointer. Are you aware now? I want to actually read. I read this beautiful verse from Adi Shankara, which I found that it's just a verse, but it contains most of what we speak about in Satsang. See, that is the beauty of these great sages. He says, now I shall tell you the nature of this absolute witness. And it is pure grace that we get to even hear these words, maybe centuries down from when the body of Shankara lived. His words still have that power. We are blessed to have this grace in our life that we can hear the Sadguru in this form. So the Sadguru is now telling us the nature of this absolute witness. Even before we get into the description of this, we can check this for ourselves. Isn't it the same thing what Ashtavakra was saying? You are the one solitary witness of all there is. Then he says, if you recognize it, you will be freed from the bonds of ignorance and attain liberation. You see? So beautiful, isn't it? Just by the recognizing of it, you let go of the bonds of ignorance, you see, and come to the end of suffering and find that which you are seeking, attain liberation. Therefore, it must tell you that it is just a question of recognition. It is just a misunderstanding. It is not something to be done. It is just something that you have considered yourself to be, and now you are coming to the recognition of it, and then the false consideration will go away, and this itself is freedom. So it is not a physical movement that needs to happen. If you considered yourself to be a cat, but you were reminded and you were shown, and you came to the recognition yourself that you are not a cat, then you're free from all the problems of the cat, aren't you? They do not apply anymore. So as you are recognizing the truth, you will be freed from the bonds of ignorance and attain liberation. Then he says, there is a self-existent reality which is the basis of our consciousness, of ego. There's a self-existent reality which forms the basis of the notion I am something. I am limited. I am my name. I am my form. What is that which is self-existent? What a beautiful term. What exists by itself? Does your identity exist by itself? Can you pose as if you are a person without picking up a notion about yourself? You can't even pick up any trouble, any problem without picking up an idea. You see? So all of this is dependent on beliefs and ideas that you have about yourself. Now you are existent now. You are being. You are existing. What effort are you making to exist? What is holding this existence up? Are you forcing it up? It is just here. You exist. This existence is the basis of all that then comes and goes. This is the substratum for all that moves in this world. Now, what has happened is we have attached ourselves to that which is coming and going. All the things that you call mine, out of all of them, how many are not going to come and go? Everything that you say is mine. How much of that will stay forever? Is eternal? Nothing. So then this mind itself is going to be the cause of so much suffering. Because you are attached to something which is going to be going anyway. To say that anything that in this phenomenal world is mine is like attaching yourself to a drunken donkey or something. Because you know it is going to go away. So in this play of me and mine, we have forgotten the basis of all of this. What is my own existence? Then the sage says, that reality is the witness of the states of ego consciousness and of the body. That reality is the constant witness of all the three states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and dreamless sleep. It is your real self. What a potent pointer again, isn't it? Same as what Ashtavakra also shared. What is that which continues even in your dreamless sleep? And here you cannot presume anything. You have to speak from your very experience. In this waking state, you have one body. There might be a dream state. You seem like you have another body. In the dreamless sleep, which body is there? What witnesses this state of dreamless sleep, where there is nothing at all phenomenal, and yet you had the experience of sleep. That which is untouched by any of the coming and going of any of these states, that you are. See? And if you are that, then what can come in this waking state that can in reality harm you, hurt you? You have remained the unchanging, irrespective of what states have come and gone. This is your unchanging reality. So then Shankara says, it is your real self. That reality pervades the universe. It alone shines. The universe shines with its reflected light. The reflected light of yourself. That's why Ashtavakra said, you are that shoreless ocean in which the arcs of the universe, they come and go. You are the basis of them. You are not an object in this universe. If we have to create a relationship, it is more accurate to say that the universe is an object in you. Its essence is timeless awareness. It knows all things, witnesses all things, from the ego to the body. It is the witness of pleasure and pain and the sense objects. This is your real self, the supreme being, the ancient. It never ceases to experience infinite release. It is unwavering. It is spirit itself. Usually we come into satsang when being something is not working. If being something was just naturally working, then very few would find their way to satsang, only those with a very high curiosity about the truths. Mostly we come to satsang for some refuge because we find that all my ideas about myself, all that I've considered myself to be, all my plans, they are not getting me to the promised land of eternal contentment. That's why, that one of my favorite things that came up in satsang is the story of the cat. The cat is born in the world without mirrors. And everybody said, you are a cat. Your only job is to get the next bowl of milk. And what is it? They also told us what these bowls of milk were. Get a good education, then you will find this happiness. You will always be happy. Get a good partner, and you will always be happy. Make lots of money, and you'll always be happy. Do this, and you'll always be happy. But you've seen that all of these were ephemeral, coming and going. Then somebody said to us, when he said to us, yes, actually, this is the nature of the world, and you will not find happiness till you come to this ultimate bowl of milk called enlightenment, moksha, nirvana, whatever you call it, liberation. Then you as a cat, you go to various places, various masters, various satsang, to try and find this bowl of milk called enlightenment. And sometimes you might even feel like you're getting that bliss that you wanted, but it goes away. It goes away. And you say, no, I had it and I lost it. Then you feel like you're guilty, you are unworthy of it. Not only are you a cat, but you're an unworthy cat. And you've also been told, by the way, that only 1 in a million cats will get this anyway. Yeah. Then you might come, if it is grace, you might come to someone like Guruji who will say, why you want a bowl of milk? You're not a cat. Why you want something? You are not a person at all. You are that from which all things come. And if you stay with the master, then you will play the butt game for some time. And that sometime could be a day, a year, 10 years, 10 lifetimes, a million years. You never know. Yes. But yes, I see that I am this. But why do I still feel this? Why do I still think this? Attachment to this ephemeral world The condition of believing yourself to be the cat for so long seems to carry on with some momentum till one day that through grace you just give up on it. And in the play of this life, if consciousness wants to play as the cat for longer, then the cat will leave satsang. If the longing for the truth is stronger, then the cat will be left. That is the play that we are playing now. By the way, to leave the identity doesn't mean that you have to renounce anything at all. Because for some of you, it might be sounding like Ananta is saying, I must renounce everything that is changing. No. The play of this life can continue. The ocean does not have to renounce the waves. It just has to see that it is not contained in a wave. The waves can still continue and will. It is just the misidentification that I am limited, I am a wave. Then you will see the play of this life will continue to happen. I see the play of this life continues to happen. And the other day I said, only half jokingly actually, that Ananta is also a member of this Sangha, of my Sangha. He is not the one that is speaking now. He is just the instrument for this sharing. So this life can continue. But that feverishness, that attachment to the objective appearance of the things in this life, they lose the power to create suffering because you are not attached to them. So the true master holds up a mirror for you. And if you have the expectation that you are going to see something, then again you might be disappointed. Because it is showing you that you are no thing. Not that you are nothing, but that you are no thing. That which is the absolute witness of all things in itself is not a thing. But it is the absolute witness. It is not nothing also. And that is you. Now, all of this that I have said can begin to sound a bit complicated. So how do I get to the self now? That's why a big part of the year also went in showing you that in your notionless existence, this truth is apparent about yourself. There's nothing that you even have to do. This is the best news ever. That which you're looking for doesn't have to be found at all. Yeah? I always get excited when I'm sharing this good news, but I don't see that in the one that I'm sharing it with. I even asked one day, if somebody said to you, what are you sitting here doing? I saw your name, it was announced in the radio, you won a prize for $1 million. You see, more excitement will come if you were to hear news like this. But when I'm telling you that there's nothing you have to do, and it is apparent to you that you are this self which is beyond time and space. Say that. Why is this not the best news that you'll ever hear? That you're beyond time and space. That the universe is also just a coming and going for you. You are the eternal primal witness of all of this, independent of anything that you might get or not get in this life. How to find this? Here and now. It is already seen what you are. Don't go to the mind certificate. Don't buy the notion that this one is selling you. What are you right now? Are you contained in something? Do you have an age? Don't even wait for the mind to conclude whether this is true or not. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. You have always been this. If the self is eternal, mustn't it be here now? Mustn't it be you? If you are saying God is everywhere, are you really meaning God is everywhere but me? Or do you really mean it? There is no separation that ever happened. All of this is the play of one consciousness. For the one that is all there is, what could you possibly want? For the one for whom all things are happening within it, what could it possibly do? It is when consciousness takes a position about itself, even if it feels like it might be the highest position, the enlightened position. It is still drawing a boundary around itself. Empty of notions about yourself. You are free. You believe in a location, in a reference point about yourself. You draw an imaginary boundary and you play this game of personhood, ego. Now, one last point maybe I make before we go today is don't get into level confusion. Don't worry about how this body is presenting itself after it has found freedom. Because your discovery is not located in this body. This body is just another appearance on the surface of the ocean, on the screen of consciousness. So I'll end with a story about Adi Shankara, where the great Shankaracharya was sharing with many people sitting around like this. He was sharing that Brahman is the truth, the absolute is the truth, and this world appearance is illusory, is a coming and going, ephemeral appearance. He's sharing like this, and in those days there were, leopards and tigers roaming around. So then one tiger came, and Shankara was the first to run. He's sharing that the world appearance is illusory, but Shankara was the first to run. While sharing this, maybe just finished the sentence and started running. So he went and climbed a tree along with everybody else who was in the satsang with him. They all climbed trees, went to the same to safe spot. Then they waited for the tiger to go. After the tiger went, they waited a few more minutes and they got down. And Shankara got down, they collected for satsang again. And he could see that people sitting in the sangha are snickering at him. So he said, "So what happened? Why are you laughing at me?" They said, "Weren't you saying that the world is illusory and the only truth is the absolute, which is unchanged, unhurt? Then when the tiger came, why did you run?" And he said, "My running was also part of the illusion." So this is what I mean. You don't have to present yourself as some enlightened, present this body as some enlightened master or something like this. Maharaj said very beautifully, "I let my worldly existence play as it wants. I remain as I am." Nobody can predict the way it will play out for this body mind. Whether the sharing of satsang will happen from there, whether you'll go into complete silence, whether you'll lead the life of a regular householder. Nobody knows. What events will happen, nobody can predict. Forget about all fanciful notions about the body of the enlightened master not needing sleep, having supernatural abilities, can be at 5 places at the same time. If those things have to happen, they'll happen, let them be. But they are no proof of your freedom. Remain in your notionless existence. Surrender any notion that you might have about yourself, or inquire into the reality of it. Come to your emptiness, your neutrality. May this be so. This is my blessing, my gift on this beautiful Christmas day, as we remember one of the purest embodiments of this truth. So much love to all of you. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Jesus Christ ki Jai. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki
Jai. Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
So then tomorrow will be the last broadcast for this year. Then family and I have to go out for a few days break. Then we restart maybe on the maybe first or second, depending on what day it is.